Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina for Small Talk and I am flying solo today. But in this episode, I will be talking about work-life balance, why Chinese employees are afraid of overworking to death, as well as your quirky office habits. But our first story is about how Johnson & Johnson is revamping its global compensation plan. And what they're doing now is they're going to improve on talent development as well as succession planning. Now, they are saying that they are facing a set of challenges because of the diversity of the products and services they provide, but they are confident that the revamp will actually help benefit the entire organization. And I think that's a good idea because as things change and as your employees' needs differ, you have to constantly look at revamping and refreshing your compensation benefits plan in order to provide to your employees, or for your employees rather. Now, our next story is about work-life balance. It's actually the biggest concern of Singaporean employees. Now, 15% are worried about work-life balance, and this is more than the average of 12% in the Asia-Pacific region. So, despite that, 64% of Singaporeans are actually happy or satisfied with their financial status, in fact calling it excellent and in good state. So I don't know, I think it ties in compensation as well and providing good benefits for your employees to allow them to have a good balance in work and outside of work. Which leads us straight into our next story. A young employee in China has unfortunately passed away due to meningitis, and although it has not been linked to her work, before her death she did blog about how stressed she was, how she wasn't able to cope with work, and this has sort of caused a lot of other employees in China a bit paranoid about their stress levels and their work life. So 45% of over 5,000 employees claim that they are facing fatigue and stress at work, but for some reason they think that putting up the hours would lead to better opportunities for them. So again, it goes back to work-life balance. It is a competitive market and we all want to try and get ahead, but you still have to be healthy and alive in order to make it to the top. Now, our next story is about bizarre office habits. If you're wondering why no one wants to take you out for lunch or you're never invited to the after office, drinks, it could be because you have some weird habits that are annoying your co-workers. Now, some of the habits that careerbuilder.com actually identified as annoying were talking about your eating habits, cleaning your fingernails with your business cards, or just slamming the table with a mallet for no apparent reason. So, despite that, some of the most creative people in the world do have their own weird habits. For example, Bill Gates likes to rock back and forth in his shadowing meetings depending on how excited he is about an idea. So you might want to keep an eye on that annoying co-worker because they might be on the edge of the biggest idea in the world. Now, last but not least, on Wednesday we ran a video with Shelley Lazarus, and she is the chairman of Ogilvy and Mather Worldwide, and she talks about why smart bosses understand the importance of work-life balance. So she sits down with the editor of Marketing Magazine in Singapore, Deepa Balji, and shares how providing the right sort of work-life balance is a really strong retention strategy, especially when it comes to women employees. So you can catch that video on our blog, and while you're there you can catch up on all the past episodes of Small Talk as well. Now, speaking of which, we are still online, so like us on Facebook, get all the links and all the updates, as well as follow us on Twitter. And I hope you've gotten the latest issue of our magazine. This is the Chief Talent Officer for Millward Brown, and he says that it is time for HR to get on the world stage. So that's a very interesting read, and if you haven't gotten a copy, you can go out, get your hands on one, and I will see you next week. Bye!